Welcome into the Sports Buffoons Podcast. Welcome on in back again to the Sports Buffoons Studios here out of Lenexa, Kansas. Of course, we are in a little different environment compared to usual, but we got the full clan. I know last week Tanner had to go a little surprise solo show for him, and I think I was off the week before that.
Yeah, you were gone.
But it's good to be back on with the three of us, and in a different setting, of course. We're working on the updates, guys. So those of you out there watching us here on the YouTube and all that, we'll see changes as time goes to our current setup. So, anyways, guys, how y'all feeling today?
Feel great, man. It's good to be back with you guys, man. It's been a long time since we've had all three of us here, and since you guys have been gone, I just keep buying the Bitcoin, and that's all I really care about right now. So just keep loading up on that freaking Bitcoin and make sure we bring these Chiefs through to the promised land by the end of the year.
Yeah, buy your sats, as they call them, and just get what you can while you can. What's going on, Tanner?
Good. I'm good. We're figuring life out here. Figuring life out. What we need, what we don't need. And yeah, but I'm good. It's been a long day. Got it worked out. Work went well. That NBA started. NHL's going. Exhibition game Friday for KU for college basketball. And of course, we got college football and NFL going. So it's a good time.
Yeah, it reminds me of the old times, figuring out things as we go in Mike's apartment. So a different environment, but never go to that website, by the way, mikesapartment.com. Probably not a good idea.
Or actually, it's probably a good idea if you're into that sort of thing.
If you're bored, you could go for it, I guess. But before we get it kicked off today, guys, I had to ask y'all what y'all sipping on here on day one of the new location.
I just got me a regular old Dr. Pepper Cherry Zero Sugar. Just keeping it easy.
Yeah, I had to switch it up, man. I usually go with the non-beers, but today I'm going with the Prime Bomb Pop, sugar-free. It's actually only got 6 carbs in there, man.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, Tanner's got to make a long drive back to Oklahoma when we're done with the show. So, it's a little ways to go.
Guys, it's really not that bad of a drive. You guys drive 45 minutes up to a casino, and you have yet to come drive down 20 minutes to my place and do a show. Hey, you know how ridiculous that is?
I've been to your place.
You know how ridiculous that is?
It's a few times now, Tanner. What are you talking about?
Yeah, like twice.
But the whole...
And Jason hasn't seen it since moving day.
You were a semi-professional before you moved to Oklahoma. You were already basically a semi-pro at craps. And you gave all that up just so you can move down to Oklahoma. And now you have no casinos. So you have no side hustle whatsoever. So I want to know what you think about that decision. And, you're costing your family money that you could have.
It's great. I've been able to focus on my podcast, and it's been an enjoyable time. But I'm just saying, you guys haven't – we talk about, you guys driving 45 minutes north, but you can't drive 25 minutes south.
I told you already before. If you want to do a Saturday show, we could do a Saturday show. I'll do it.
We'll figure it out.
Not a Wednesday show.
From Argosy.
Well, from Argosy.
That's north still.
Yeah. I got myself just a little Coke Zero deal going on here. And then I got a little secondary thing for mid-show here. Lagunitas Beast of Both Worlds IPA. It's a bi-coastal IPA. I don't know what that means. I feel like they were just trying to throw it.
I don't feel like I've ever heard bi-coastal before.
Well, they're trying to say that they do both things at the same time. So, similar to our tight end.
I feel like the Lagunitas must be into the bestiality or something like that. Or is that just like a Halloween beer? Is that why they call them the Beast?
I wouldn't go that far. I think it's been out for a while, but I don't know. Anyways,
cool, I like the look of that can.
Anyways, guys, I thought it was kind of funny before we got on here. So we had a learning experience today for Mr. JG. He had his wine in the freezer. Yes, he does have a little hidden wine back there. Now we had to bring that to the relevancy here because we had to learn today that wine does in fact freeze. you cannot just leave wine in the freezer and it just not freeze. So we learned today that there is a freezing point of alcohol. And so I gave my rough estimate earlier off air of what the freezing point is for most alcohol. I'm curious if you guys have a different number. I told you earlier, my first came to my head was 27%, 27.5%, as a matter of fact, was my actual estimation of what would freeze alcohol wise. So you can't put beers in the freezer. You can't put even 10%, 15% imperial stouts in the freezer. You can, but it's going to freeze eventually. So my question to you guys is, what do you think the actual freezing point of alcohol in a traditional freezer would be at 0 degrees?
Well, before he gives his answer, I just want to say here that I always thought it was all this, what do we call it? Near beer. So Mike and I call it near beer. All of this 4.5 or 4.9 or 6.2% beer. I always thought that near beer would explode in the freezer because I had it happen on me before in the glass bottles. But then I always thought that when you put the liquor bottles in the freezer, then it never freezes. So in my mind, it was always 10%. I was like, anything above double digits, it doesn't matter if it's beer, wine, liquor. I always thought you could just leave it in there forever. But apparently it all has like different times. So the higher the ABV, the longer you can leave it in there.
Correct.
However, it will still freeze.
Yes.
Up to a certain point. And I always just assumed that it was, wine would never freeze. Like you have your 8% and your 9% wine. I think this one right here is like a 12% wine. There's no part of me ever thought that you could freeze a 12% wine. So this was kind of like an educational moment for me as I was making my latest Bitcoin purchase. He was telling me that.
Yeah, I saved the day. I didn't want your wine to freeze, so that way we're still good. So Tanner, what's your thoughts?
I guess about the same ABV minimum that K-State fans are going to need after Saturday. We're going to go 40%.
40%. So 40% you think is the freezing point in a 0 degree freezer?
Yeah, I'm going to guess that.
Okay. Well, apparently the actual number is about 25%. So anything you get, you get that peanut butter whiskey. You guys know about that one, or what's that one? What's that one that's like 22%? The one we used that kind of nutty flavor liqueur of drink.
Well, that's interesting that you bring that up. I think you're thinking about the almond flavored
liqueur.
What
is that?
What's funny about that is there's many different brands that make the amaretto. And they're all around that 25% threshold. If you get a Di Serono, which is the most popular, that is above the threshold, I believe, at 27%. So it would not freeze. However, another one of my favorites is called Gozio, also from Italy. It's actually 24%. And it would freeze, but my question is like would that take like 24 hours? Or I just don't know how long it would take to freeze that.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how it works. Basically anything, so like water itself would freeze very quickly, but the more alcohol that's in it, it'll take longer and longer to freeze until a certain point, and then it will just freeze anyway. But then at a certain point afterwards, once you get to obviously 30% and above, then it's not a freezing point.
That's why you can leave like tequila and Fireball and
all those are 40% above. Fireball would be more like 35, but that's still above the freezing point of the liquor.
And that would take a long time still to freeze, because I got 2 bottles in my freezer right now that
but it just won't freeze. Like unless your freezer was like -20.
I mean, it's a deep freeze, so
yeah, I don't know what your temperature in your deep freezer is. Anyways, I think we all helped each other learn something.
That was a good lesson, man.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure your wine didn't freeze, man. That's all I cared about. So, anyways, guys, we got more fun things to talk about as well. So, what was your first thoughts before we get into Chiefs talk, of course, on I just thought this was hilarious, this interaction between Russell Wilson and Coach Sean Payton for the Denver Broncos. Russell Wilson, obviously with the Giants now, who has been benched, placed with Jackson Dart, and there was a little bit of an interaction that was kind of not even direct. It was a very indirect interaction where Sean Payton was having some kind of quote along the lines of, being, not wanting to have to face Dart at this point. He was hoping they would hold on to the other option up to the point that they had to play him. And Broncos players actually after the game had a lot of confident, positive things to say about Jackson Dart, which was nice, I'm sure. As far as just basically admiring that he is the real deal in their eyes. But Russell Wilson's response online was pretty interesting, and he immediately took offense to the situation, calling Sean Payton classless, and basically also accusing him of continuing on the bounty gate just in a social matter instead of the actual physical one. So, anyways, what was your guys' thoughts on that interaction?
I mean, I think for me, when you have an athlete that kind of lashes out like that against an NFL coach, the first thing that I look for is who's the athlete that's saying it. Because I think in most cases, you would say, okay, I believe him. If an athlete accuses a coach or somebody else of doing something or acting a certain way, I think in a lot of cases, I believe it and then I move on. I don't investigate anything. But when I found out that it was Russ versus Sean Payton, I knew in the back of my mind, okay, I'm not going to take Russ's word for this or anything else for that matter. I don't trust him if he's going to lash out and call somebody classless. That's the point when I'm going to do my investigation. So that says something right there about Russ and the fact that whatever comes out of his mouth, I don't trust it. I got to get down to the bottom of it and see what happened. And at the end of the day, obviously, Sean Payton said absolutely nothing wrong. He basically said, that the young quarterback for the Giants created a spark on that team, which is exactly what happened. Okay. There's no inference there. He's not throwing anybody under the bus. And then after that, I think he said something like, I wish that they would have waited to make that quarterback change until after.
And that's what he was bothered by. Yeah.
And that all of that is true. So you're not throwing anybody under the bus. So I think this is more of a Russ issue than it is a Sean Payton issue, because Sean Payton was just being honest in the sense of football. He was making a football comment, not a personal comment. And, when Russ kind of said something about Bountygate, trying to bring back the whole Bountygate thing.
Right.
I mean, dude, what are you living in 2008? I mean, what the freak year was that? Was that 2008,
2009,
2010?
2009, 2010.
Dude, your mind is living like in the past, like a beta. You have a beta mind. You're living like 15 years ago. Nobody cares about what happened 15 years ago. You won one Super Bowl. Like, I don't know how many years ago that was. I mean, nobody really cares about that either. But the bottom line for me is like, dude, you had your own office, I guess, apparently, when you were in Denver, and Sean Payton came in there and said, this is not a professional move. This is not how professionals act.
Right.
My quarterback is not going to have his own office where, people are, we're not going to treat you like a god, basically, just because
I don't even think Patrick Mahomes has his own office.
No. So it's like, do you think you're a god? Do we need to worship you? No, we're not doing that here. So Sean Payton told him to get it out of there. He was like, you're not going to have your own office. But, at the end of the day, let's give some credit to Russ, man. He did have one good game this year, threw for 450 yards, 3 touchdowns at Dallas, which is basically a minor league defense. He is washed, but he did have one good game this year. But this is in terms of Sean Payton, this is a nothing burger, man. Sean Payton is a total 100% class act professional. And this is about Russ. It has nothing to do with Sean Payton. Russ is just, basically for lack of a better word, just being sort of in his beta mode, which is, I guess that's his lifestyle at this point.
Yeah. What do you think, Tanner?
I mean, honestly, my first reaction was like, well, that's how bad the relationship ended between those two guys.
Yeah.
That's really what it was.
Well, because Russell was obviously very offended by the way Sean Payton wanted to run the new team. But Sean Payton clearly has shown over time that his way of running things was better than the way it was before, with Russell trying to run the entire organization as he like.
Correct.
So obviously, the guy who's had experience running an organization did a better job.
I mean, yeah, I guess we could say that right now, but it just shows the relationship how bad it actually was between the two.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. I thought the interaction was pretty
I mean,
amusing.
I thought it was amusing that Russ even commented.
Well, it was such an indirect interaction too. They weren't even talking to each other. It was just, he said one thing, and then Russell got butthurt, and then had to have a rebuttal online, and called him classless and all that.
Dude, the thing, man, Russ is always butthurt. You know why? Because we're talking about Sean Payton, Russell Wilson, who each have in their own right one Super Bowl ring. So it's like, who's better than who? We each got one ring. The problem is, in Russ's mind, he was supposed to have 2 rings, except they didn't hand the ball off to beast mode when it counted. And so in Russ's mind, he probably thinks he has 2 Super Bowl rings. The problem is, bro, you don't. Like, you only have one ring. Sean Payton only has one ring. Just freaking get over yourselves and try to move beyond your own egos. Like, it's over with, man. That was a long time ago.
And yeah, Russell was a really good player early on in his career, of course, but let's keep in mind the reason that they won that Super Bowl was because that Legion of Doom in the secondary there with Seattle. I mean, that was a pretty amazing defense to watch unfold. So they had some great pass rushers along with the great secondary, and I think that was a major point of why they won that. Not to take anything away from what Russell was doing early on in his career, but I think that someone got a little full themselves over the years is maybe what happened.
Yeah, I mean, at some point,
I'm not going to bring up anything, Tanner, but you've told me something from someone who's in the know that maybe Russell was the problem in Seattle. So just saying something.
It's true.
At some point, you have some humility. Some players find it before their retirement, and some players don't even find it after their retirement. Man, they just totally lose it. So he's gonna learn the hard way. Maybe someday in his retirement that he should have had a little bit of humility in this situation.
Yeah. Well, guys, I appreciate all of you there that's joining. It is awesome to be in our new spot. So let's go ahead and jump into some Chiefs talk. Of course, we have not gotten to do this as a group here in a little bit, so we got maybe a little catching up to do. But we don't need to spend too much time on that Raiders game. Obviously, we knew the outcome of that one. But man, the last few weeks have been very different from what we last discussed as a group, and it's been awesome to see. I mean, it's been fun to see. I know when I first got to this location here, first thing I did was get to watch the Detroit Lions versus Chiefs game, and the Chiefs actually go out there and dominate a team that we all thought was a really good team and is a good team, because guess what? They've also shown up in the week after and put on their own performance and was able to put up great numbers against other opposing teams. The Chiefs are finding their rhythm right now. And then they go against the Raiders here this past weekend. Tanner and I were at the game, as a matter of fact, got to enjoy that beatdown, one of the greatest beatdowns in Chiefs history, as a matter of fact. 30 first downs to 3?
30 first downs to 3, correct.
100 and what yards to 98?
95.
5 total?
95 total.
But the Chiefs yardage was like 400 and they took out the starters in the middle.
434 yards, 30 first downs, and they had 42 minutes of TOP, total time of possession.
You realize the Chiefs, if they wanted to, could have won this game with over 500 yards of total offense if they wanted to. But they called off the dogs. They even kneeled down at the end of the game before the 2-minute warning.
Before the 2-minute warning.
Just to say, well, if we could get a running clock, that would be good. That'd be really nice. But we were just trying to get the game over with, get out of there, and keep everyone healthy at that point. Of course, we had some injuries along the way, the Norman Lott and stuff like that. But before we move into discussion about Monday Night Football against the Commanders, do you guys have any thoughts about the current state of what we've seen with the Chiefs now the last few weeks compared to the team that started 0-2?
Yeah, for me, the Raiders game was kind of a little bit of a nothing burger, because Geno Smith he's so freaking bad right now, dude. And they didn't even put up a fight. And obviously Rashee Rice coming back, he looked amazing. But I go back to the Detroit Lions game, which Mike, you and I didn't get a chance to talk about that after the fact because we didn't do a show. But up to that point, I know there are a lot of people out there that truly believe that the Detroit Lions were the best team in the NFL. And at the same time, a lot of those same people were saying, well, the Chiefs they've lost too many games and this is the end of the dynasty and things like that, which we all know they say the exact same thing over and over again every single year, expecting a different result, and it never happens. But, to be fair, like the Chiefs did lose a few games, and all of a sudden, like they beat the Detroit Lions, and we looked good in that game, man. I mean, I know it was a relatively close game, but the way that we were able to win that game against Detroit basically means that, dude, your win-loss record doesn't mean anything at this point in the season. It means a whole heck of a lot when you're getting into like week 13, 14, 15 and beyond. The record means nothing right now, especially since you didn't have Rashee Rice this whole time, and you didn't even have him against the Lions, but you took care of business. And so I think that, everybody's doing the same thing that they do every single year, which is underestimate the Chiefs. But this year it's even worse because they underestimated the Chiefs, and now we actually have an offense that we didn't have the last couple of years. And so I like what I'm seeing specifically from the offense. The defense, historically, we always talk about it, always gets better as we get closer and closer to the end of the year. So I feel great, man. I've never felt better about this team right now.
Yeah, just for perspective's sake, Tanner, before you go here, the Chiefs that did start 0-2, they're now 4-1 in the last 5 games, and that one loss to Jacksonville was just off of like a couple fluke situations after they were up 14-0. They found a way to beat themselves, basically. I mean, this is a team, and even that Eagles game, if you want to go back one more week before all that, Travis Kelce's mishap and that dropped touchdown that turned into interception situation, Chiefs might have had the Eagles handled as well. But the only real loss the Chiefs have had this year, in my opinion, that they deserved was the Chargers game. The Chiefs deserved to get beat by the Chargers week 1. They just weren't playing as well. They didn't come with a good enough game plan. I think Harbaugh in that situation Jim Harbaugh outcoached Andy Reid in that game. The other games, the other 2 losses the Chiefs have right now are games that very much Chiefs could have had in hand if they had just played their cards right. But now, add Rashee Rice back into the mix, and things are looking really interesting now.
Now, the thing about the Chargers too is like we should have lost to them. They were at full strength, and back then that was an amazing team. Now they're depleted. They're completely
well. That's
different.
normal for the Chargers. We all know that.
It is. It blows my mind every single year that this happens.
The same
that
thing,
it could happen that long. It's wild.
You kind of referenced it, right? Going back to the Jacksonville game. Okay. Legit. We were 2 flukes away from winning that game. Like
there's no reason to lose that game.
You put everything on paper and you put it to 2 people who never watched the game, they would say, "Oh, that team won." And they didn't.
No reason to lose that game.
0 reason. So really though, I mean, the Lions game was probably the most impressive of it. Like the way we just dominated the number 1 power ranking team. I think they were number 1.
Well,
maybe the Bills.
Gibbs the way we did in that game.
Well, not even like Gibbs and Montgomery and Almon-Ra.
Yeah,
and Jameson. There was no offense for them.
They did next to nothing.
And look what happened this last Monday night when they went against Tampa Bay. Here they are again, right? They're showing out.
The Lions,
Yeah, which is exactly what happened. I mean, that's just credit to the way the Chiefs have been playing and their momentum. In the NFL, should be freaking out right now. Like, well, we thought they were dead, but they ain't dead. And now you got Rice back, and you're telling me 42 minutes of possession, 30 first downs, and you only allowed 95 total yards to Ashton Genty. Well, what's the running back that's going to do something to us coming up here?
Well, all season long, the Chiefs have been terrific against the run game. So let's keep that in mind. Derrick Henry, go back to Saquon even in that game, wasn't really great in that game. That's not the reason the Eagles won that game. I mean, the running backs we faced have all been really good players in this league. The Chiefs' run defense is terrific in these situations. So just given what they've had to work with, I mean, we kind of knew that going into it. I think the linebackers we have this team, Leo Chenal, one of my favorite. I loved him from day one when we drafted him. Leo Chenal, Nick Bolton's done a great job. Drew Tranquill's done a really good job this year. In fact, to me, better this year than he was the year before in the run game. And so I think that's a very important piece, especially considering the D-line on the interior was going to be weaker this year, which it is. And so at least something to be looking forward to, knowing we can shut down the run if needed. I think a lot of it goes to those linebackers.
Yeah, the linebackers have improved in coverage, to be honest with you. Chenal has an interception this season. I think Nick Bolton's improved on what he's been doing, at least coming into play against tight ends. Like this team in general, defensive wise, I realize they kind of had, the little unfortunate there on the D line, especially Omar and Norman Lott going out with ACL injury. I mean, that's just one less guy there to fill in, but it feels good. It feels good there. And you got a guy sitting here as the healthiest scratch that you signed and paid what, $20 million for? Christian Fulton just sitting there. I mean, you haven't had to utilize him, and your defense is looking like the way with the rookie, Noah Williams. And then on top of that, even Joshua, when he gets a chance, he hasn't been looking bad. So this team right now through 7 weeks, seventh week, I keep telling everybody, are you worried? Are you worried? Talk to me after week 7, and I will let you know where I'm at. And quite frankly, I'm still at 0% worried. Because this team is running. They are rolling. So loving what I'm seeing here, and I can only get better with this. As long as we stay healthy.
Yeah, and right now this team ranks in scoring defense 3rd in the NFL. Who would have thought that at this point? Right now, 3rd in the NFL.
No way. Yeah.
And then 6th right now. And I think as the season goes on, we're going to see the offense get closer and closer to that top 1 or top 2 in points scored per game. Now the run game itself is, iffy at times, but the Chiefs have now created an offense here going into, I think as we look towards the rest of the season, they are creating a running game once again through the passing game, but even more deliberately than ever before. And I say that because, we saw Rashad Smith, Tanner, this past weekend, especially in a guy that you didn't think was going to be involved as much in the passing game. And I was there with you. I thought the same thing. We saw him basically getting handoffs that were just long sweeps or long pitches.
And this was with the starters. Like this wasn't garbage time. This was starters.
That's what I mean. That is now a part of the Chiefs running game is those quick out screen passes. Basically, instead of running a pitch, for instance, where you're pitching to a running back 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage and getting blockers out in front, you're instead running a quick screen to Rashad Smith and then letting receivers like Juju Smith-Schuster and Rashid Rice and tight ends that can pull out do the blocking for you instead. And that is basically what has been manufactured in the Chiefs offense because Isaiah Pacheco is not going to necessarily get it done in the way we want. And so we're finding other ways to get guys the ball in the passing game to create the running game.
And we talk about the run game a lot too, and we bag on it. I mean, really, this past few weeks, though, they're not. I mean, they're not running 160-yard rushing, right? But they're making gains when I think they need to. Like even Kareem Hunt, who was, he turned a 15-yard to a 5-yarder and turned a negative 5-yard to a 5-yarder. Like even him, he's breaking up 10, 12-yard rushes.
So Kareem is guaranteed for 1 or 2 yards when you need him every time. That's what I like most about Kareem Hunt and this team right now is that he's not going to be necessarily a guy that has a 25-yard run. That probably won't happen the entire season. If it does, that's crazy. But I think in a situation where it's 3rd and 1 or whatever, get him the ball and just expect him to get it done. Because he does almost every single time.
Yeah, and he's been breaking it. I mean, he's had a couple of those 8-10-yard runs lately, which is kind of nice to see. Pacheco actually kind of looks lately, not all the time, but a few of his good runs, he's actually running with his head up and looking at holes. Now, there's most times where he runs into the freaking offensive lineman, but there has been times when he does have his solid runs, like you can see him actually looking up and looking at it.
Some of the worst vision I've ever seen at a running back as a Chiefs fan is Nile Davis. And Pacheco, his problem is not always vision, it's patience. He does not understand how patience works at the running back position and allowing your blocks to set up. That is his biggest flaw.
He's like Forrest Gump, man. Just give him the ball and run as fast as you can, bro.
Just run into people. And so it's not necessarily that his vision is that bad, which it is. It's not great. but it's the patience that does not understand how blocks need to be set up to then get you where you need to be. And he also has not, he's also missed holes that are open. So, that goes back to the vision thing. So it's not great in any kind of situation. What's hilarious to me, like if you guys were to play Madden right now, his speed rating is like a 93, which is pretty good. So in Madden, as long as your vision is not an anteater, as I used to call Niall Davis, with your head in the sand, then you can make some great plays with a guy like Pacheco, right? He's better on the video game than he is in real life. And so I find that kind of amazing.
Can he catch in the video game?
He can. So you can catch too.
That's good. Hey, that's already impressive by itself.
Hands ratings probably be more like 45.
Maybe less.
So anyways, we're finding out Pacheco is in probably big trouble for that next contract. Unfortunately for him, not to sit here and just bag on the guy, but anyways, that's kind of where we're sitting with why we're having to manufacture run plays through the passing game. Other than if we need that 1 yard, we know Kareem can get one.
He'll get another contract with living spaces though, pretty easily. That's like he doesn't need to work for that one.
That's a burn. That's a burn.
Hey man, I give them a lot of
18 an hour at the bar, right?
Oh god. That's lethal. Those of you who do not know what living spaces is, it is a furniture store in Lenexa where he has been sponsored with, and sounds like the idea for these two is that's his next job. All right, I can't be that mean. That's a good one though. I like that one. So, anyways, guys, jumping over to the matchup, Monday Night Football, Chiefs Commanders. Man, the Commanders got some injuries of their own to worry about for sure. That is a team that is looking a little depleted at the moment. We don't know the current status of Terry McLaurin. One of my favorites.
Terry probably won't know until closer to game time.
Right? You got Deebo Samuel.
Closer to game time.
You don't know what's going to happen. This is similar to like what the Raiders are going through, with Brock Bowers,
Kobe Myers.
But
Yeah.
Myers was game time, couldn't play. But then you also have
couldn't play, shouldn't, wouldn't play.
Marcus Mariota, the quarterback, this weekend or this Monday.
Yep. Yeah. Freaking Mariota.
This could be the Raiders game part 2.
Well, let's hope he doesn't.
Arrowhead Stadium. So.
Let's hope he doesn't catch his own pass for a touchdown again.
Yeah, that's the thing. I liked your laugh there, Jason, but all I can think in the back of my mind was I was at that goddamn game in beginning of 2018 January playoff game. It was the game where Derek Johnson had a sack on Marcus Mariota that was called for unnecessary roughness or something, or he was down by contact or whatever it was. It was a sack fumble the Chiefs recovered that did not get counted, and that referee got death threats afterwards. And then Marcus Mariota, yes, caught his own pass in that game for a touchdown, as a matter of fact. Caught his own pass for a touchdown. And so as much as I want to sit here and make fun of Marcus Mariota, I, as a lifetime Chiefs fan, I can't, because that would just not be right.
Well, and remember, he already has a W for himself earlier this season when Daniels did go out. So, like, he does, like, if he has Debo in, like, I think it's a threat still.
He's a veteran quarterback. Let's keep in mind guys of past, who've played for a long time in the league as backups, who were really good backup quarterbacks. Like, what's his name with the Chargers? That
Tyrod Taylor.
Thank you, Tyrod Taylor, a phenomenal backup quarterback in this league, who just wasn't exactly a starter, but when you needed him to come into play, was really efficient. And, there's players like that in this league that come around, and maybe Mariota is one of those guys who, now that he's older and is coming up on his mid-30s, it can fit into that kind of mold as being a guy that's just reliable because he's been around enough.
Yeah. And you talked about this could be another Geno Smith game, right, Jason? Well, here's the thing. Geno, what Mariota can do is what Geno doesn't know how to do, and that's utilize his legs and his run game. Mariota knows how to make the run. Like, that's his big threat. He might pass the ball depending on what he has weapons-wise out there. Luke McCaffrey, by the way, big thumbs up for me for him this week, just because Mariota loves the guy. But also the fact that, Mariota's going to use his legs. Like, we love these kind of running backs, so I really generally do. Like, look at Hurts, right? What we do against Hurts?
Well, we do a good job against quarterbacks that can run. Like Lamar Jackson, for the most part, we've done a great job.
Justin Hurts. Now, first week we'll scratch that for now. But generally, the rest of the quarterbacks we took
Week
care of
one, the
business.
Chiefs were out coached and out, and that just unexpected. The Chiefs did not plan for that kind of a plan from the Chargers in that game. But I think as the season's unfolding, we're starting to see more of what teams are, what they are, what their bread and butter is, kind of what they're made of as far as that goes. Get a better idea.
I've got no problem with Mariota. Okay, like he's a quality backup, so I have nothing negative to say about him. But I will say something negative about that Washington defense giving up 364 total yards per game average, which is bottom 6 in the league.
Yeah,
that's what I will throw shade on, and that is why they're going to get pummeled. It has nothing to do with Mariota. That defense is just not that great. And you have the Chiefs offense, which is playing amazing right now. A lot of games I will say have blowout potential. And obviously we know that the NFL likes to rig games. They like to fix games in certain situations. If they don't, doesn't have blowout potential. This is a actual blowout before the game even starts. And unless, the officials try to get involved and throw all these ridiculous flags. So, that's my biggest issue is that Washington defense. Offensively this year they haven't been that bad. I mean, but it's not like a situation, not a situation where I think the Chiefs have their hands full defensively. It's just like, they've had a good offense, but now you got a different quarterback in there. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt is a pretty decent running back. I think that they're going to rely on in the future. Also, obviously, as Austin Eckler's out for the year too, so another injury to add to that list for the Commanders. So, I mean, honestly, they're just decimated with injuries, and it's going to be really hard for them to overcome everything.
What about Clinton Portis? Is he still healthy? Is he the running back?
He might be their only way to save the day. He might be the only way to save the day.
Didn't he go to jail for something like that? For like some kind of money fraud?
Portis?
Yeah, it was some kind of fraud deal. It was insurance fraud or something like that.
No, that was Bobby Portis of the NBA.
No. Clinton Portis was.
Oh, okay.
He went to, it was like insurance fraud or something like that with the NFL. Yeah, injury fraud.
Anything about any former player, and I'd probably believe you. It's just I don't even know where to begin. I mean, there's been so many things over the years, and even Tony Richardson, former Chiefs fullback, running back, had his own problems with paying up in situations where he needed to pay money that was publicly disclosed.
What about Tim Tebow, though? If you told me something that he did, I would never believe it, man.
I'd believe it.
That guy.
I've seen enough preachers like him in the world.
He's a preacher now.
Well, might as well be. Might as well be. I mean, at one point he might have been. So
I don't think he's an ordained minister.
Yeah, here it is.
That's not what I mean by preacher.
Okay.
2019 healthcare fraud is what he committed.
Who was this?
Jeez.
Clinton Portis.
Healthcare fraud. That's a new one.
He was sentenced to 6 months in prison, 6 months at home.
Did I commit healthcare fraud in 2020?
Can't tell you, dude.
Well, if you're not
2021, that's maybe where I should begin.
If you're not convicted, it's a little like it never happened. That's all I will tell you.
Oh, okay. Well, nothing happened then.
Yeah, it never.
Okay.
It's a nothing burger. Got to be convicted.
Fair enough.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys have seen. Sorry, real quick. Delaware State University, currently D2, I believe D2 school. Or no, it's not FBS, it's the other one. But he's a running backs coach with Delaware State University, and Deshaun Jackson's the head coach of that team. And quite frankly, I mean they score points.
Good.
The crew I'm with, we've won a few games with those guys.
All right.
So
cool.
Just know they're doing really well.
Get them up to the NFL, man.
Nice.
They're on their way up.
Good news. Good news. All right. Well, before we pick our final score, I do just want to real quick ask you guys before we move along here too. What are your thoughts on the current state of the Chiefs left tackle situation? Josh Simmons still missing. We have no idea where he's at. For the reason why, we have no idea. But we're very content at the moment with the way Jalen Moore has played at left tackle. What are your opinions? If you give me like 2 minutes each.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think I've heard that it could be like a mental health situation with Josh Simmons, and he just
That's a
needs
speculation, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've heard, and it's just maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I hope that he can get the appropriate help that he needs, and I'm sure the Chiefs can give him some resources if that's what he needs. To me, a lot of times with people who are having mental health issues, that's actually the best case scenario. That's actually what you want, because those people can be helped. But if for some reason it's something worse than that, again, we've got a guy that's doing just fine right now, in my opinion. But I hope that Simmons can work this thing out and get the help that he needs.
So let's say it's not mental health necessarily. Let's say it's something, as Andy Reid had maybe a fraudulent slip the other day. Whenever asked about the situation, he said it's a family issue. And so, what kind of a family issue do you think would pull you guys away from career?
Allegedly, his uncle had surgery, and a surgery.
Something, Tanner?
Well, there was allegedly a post from his mom.
Okay.
I'm putting all this allegedly because I don't believe people, but allegedly his uncle had surgery, and that could be related to it or something within that matter. So, I don't know what kind of surgery.
Something with his mom's surgery.
His mom's his uncle.
That was uncle.
So it could be close. I don't know. I don't know what the relationship's like, but
well, if that's the issue,
it could be a family thing.
That could be a big deal in the short to medium term, but in the long term, it's a big nothing burger.
Sure.
But if it's a family member that is having surgery or something like that, like I would much rather it be something like that
than a mental health issue.
That's actually a better case than I was thinking.
Because mental health issues are something that can be something that carries over time and time after. It's not always fixable immediately. It can reoccur, similar to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, that kind of thing.
And I'm thinking about a guy like Zach Greinke, who came up with the Royals, had some mental health things going on there.
He was still elite while he was playing, during his prime.
Stud. Sure, so that those situations can be fixed. But
yeah, I don't really exactly know what Zach's
other
than anxiety.
My biggest fear, like if you're telling me he has family issues, my biggest fear would be domestic violence. That would be the biggest problem. But I don't necessarily think that's what's going on.
The strangest part of it all to me is just how the team itself, the Chiefs, are trying so hard to just keep it under wraps. They don't want any information out about what's going on. They're trying to, in fact, get the media and everyone else to just ignore the problem and act like it's not happening. But it's like, no, we have this left tackle we just drafted who we're ecstatic to have on the team. He's been an awesome player and everything we ever wanted in a franchise left tackle so far at this point. And we're concerned about him, I think, as fans, as a person, as a fan of the player, as well as just we want to support him and whatever it is he's going through at the end of the day. I think that's what makes fans curious about what's going on with Josh Simmons. But the team is doing their best to not let anything out, which I understand that. I have respect for the family, as Andy Reid said the other day in the interview last week. So I think it is something to do with the family personally, just because I don't think he would have said family if that was not at all the case. So,
and it is very offensive. I mean, I think I personally wouldn't be offended by something like that, but you do have people out there that if something happens, even in your extended family, and you're a professional athlete, if that gets out into the media where it's actually nobody's business, then I can understand why a player would get offended by that. And if you're the Chiefs who want to keep this guy around for the long haul, you want to know that you have the trust of the organization, that you can trust the organization to not let personal things get out. Sure. I don't care. It could be your freaking second cousin, dude.
Yeah.
But you want to have the trust that, my organization, who wants to have me around for the long haul, is not going to let these things out about my personal family, because it's legitimately none of their business.
No, that's a good point. I like that you brought that up. And as far as the longevity of this relationship with the player and the team, that's something that should be taken into account. And if this is Simmons' wish to just keep this to himself and the team is abiding by that, then that's actually really good in its own way. So it's good thing you brought up there. So, anyways, guys, I just wanted to hit on that for a minute. Let's go ahead and sport.
Well, I got stuff. Yeah.
Didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, you just skip me over here.
I thought you were done.
I didn't know.
No, I was just responding, helping like with the family when you.
Okay, go ahead.
One, are we yelling at the left tackle during games, guys?
We're content with Jalen Moore right now.
See you after the bye week, buddy. Don't care. Whatever it is, take care of it. We'll see you after the bye week.
Okay, hopefully.
Well, I'm hoping, but again, I'm not yelling about it. It's not affecting our gameplay. We're winning games.
It
what you gotta do, man.
what it is, though, man. Because I can tell you from my personal perspective, I'm dealing with a family member right now that is going through some health issues, and it's sometimes those things get drawn out over a long period of time. It's not necessarily just boom, yeah, they had surgery, now they're better. Okay, now we can all go back to our normal lives. That's not always how it works. So if this is like some sort of a disease that a family member is going through, man, there's no guarantees that you're getting them back at all this year. So you just have to respect.
It's the hope, right?
Yeah, you just have to respect the player. And if that indeed is what's going on, then you just got to respect the player and his family, and you give him as much away as he needs, and you just stop asking questions, because it's not necessarily any of your system.
It's not affecting the team right now. Let it be.
Well, I think
Let it be.
Now that we've gone on this long of a time, it's been almost 3 weeks of this, that we will get to a point where the questions will stop, because we will get to a point where we're just like, okay, we're winning games. Jalen Moore is playing really well. Let's literally just not worry about it until the time comes for him to come back. And I think that's where probably everyone with the media and everything needs to get to that point at this point.
They're never going to get to that point, dude.
And realize
that's like the number one question they're going to ask every freaking week, dude.
Well,
every week.
Great news is Jalen Moore is also doing a huge favor, because if he was out there, playing like some of the left tackles we've seen in Chiefs past, and giving up 3 sacks a game and everything like that, it's more of a problem. Well, right now it's not a problem, because Jalen Moore's done his job and done it very well.
Well, if he stopped, you could just cut him too.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't make the problem better.
Right. It doesn't do nothing. It's the media is going to do this, just like they're asking every big school head coach, are you going to take the Penn State job? Are you going to take the Penn State job? And every head coach is going to look at them and like the Texas A&M one pretty much just called this guy an idiot in the press conference. Say, I don't understand. Like, you want to be fired 3 weeks ago, and now you're asking me if I'm going to take a Penn State job. Like, what do you want? So, it's just going to be that kind of dumb question you're going to get every week.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and, before we get into the easy money bet of the week, let's take our picks. What is our game pick of the week?
You got a -10 to -12.5 right now. It's all varied all over the place for your spreads. Your total around between 46 and 48.5 I've seen today. So again, sportsbooks are all over the place with the Daniels news being out, and then the unknown of Scary Terry and Debo come into play. So that's your what you're looking at right now.
Yeah, so I'm just going to go with the -12.5, and I'm going to say the Chiefs are going to cover that. I got a final score of 34-10, so we will go with the under. My over-under is at 47. 34-10, go with the under, and also Chiefs will cover 12.5.
I like on this game. I think the Chiefs could do more damage than this number is going to indicate. I think it's crazy, Tanner. And I talked about a few weeks ago. Chiefs can't score over 30 after they went like 30 games in a row without scoring over 30. Suddenly now it's like scoring 30 is no problem. All of a sudden now blowout's going to happen. All of a sudden now not every Chiefs game's got to be within 3 points. All of a sudden now it's like, hey, let's go ahead and beat a team by 20 just because we can now. And that's what it's becoming right now for this team, which is honestly awesome. I mean, I prefer that over feeling like we just got through a game by squeezing through by a bite hair crack. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I don't know what else to say, but it's just like the game like last year against Denver, blocked field goal, in a game the Chiefs probably should have lost that game. And it's like I got tired of that last year. I'd rather the Chiefs, this current team right now, go out and blow people out and win by 15 or 20 points if they can, or in last week's case, 31. So for me in this game, I think the Chiefs look great. I think the Chiefs at prime time at home at Arrowhead should be another dominating performance. Give me the Chiefs here, 34-13, as a matter of fact, is what I got. So I'm not one of the Commanders get 13 points, but put me in the 30s again for the Chiefs. I can't believe I'm saying that.
30. I mean, you were just making fun of me the other a few weeks ago,
I
man.
made fun of you for it. We've been scoring
What
30.
happened? We scored 30.
We're in 30 now.
Honey, I was just convincing it. Can we go to 40? Can we go to 40? That
Yeah,
would have been last week. That would
I
have been
don't
last
know.
week.
I mean, we could have.
We could have. We could have last week. That's for damn sure.
I think it's funny that the week I made
funny for
not only funny, I was pointing out the 10. Are we really going to score 30? We haven't done that in 30 games. All of a sudden, now we're scoring 30. So unlock.
I really feel like this game should be a blowout. Like last week felt to me like walking in, and I said it on the show last week for those that watched my solo, but that game last week felt like the Justin Fields Bears game. Walking into the Justin Fields Bears game. That team stinks. Their coach stinks. Their quarterback stinks. Like it's just an overall stink fest. And that we were going to blow them out. And that's what I told a guy as we were standing in line in the restroom too early on. And he's like, "What do you think?" I go, "I think it's Justin Fields and the damn Bears from a few years ago." Walking into the the Washington here, and I think Washington. I mean, they got blown against Dallas last week. Some bad luck there. You guys got 34 points for it.
4.
I was trying to see what some of the trends were going down this year on Monday Night Football because I feel like there's some weird stuff when it comes to primetime games.
Especially Thursday.
Let's see here. Year-to-date total. Favorites are 6-2 against the spread. Favorite cover, favorite didn't cover.
About over under.
The over-unders are 4 overs and 4 unders.
Right now we're at 46.5.
Yeah. So 46.5 on DK, I assume. That's what you looked up.
Yep.
Yeah, man. It looks like it's fairly on the favorite side. So let's do it. We're going to do 12.5. We'll take the high side of the spreads here for lines, and we'll say we won't go 34. Let's go 30. We'll go 30. What would that be? 30 to 14?
Are you trying to hit the under or the over?
I'm not doing the total. I'm just doing the spread.
Oh, just the spread. So if you're trying to say the Chiefs cover the spread,
they score 30 points.
30 on the dot.
Yeah.
Okay. So then 30-17.
Yeah.
They'll give you the outcome.
12.5 over 12.5. Okay.
30-17 is your score.
We're gonna say the favorites cover. Right now they're 6-2 on Monday Night Football, and we'll stick with that. So
okay. So we're all in the 30s then for the Chiefs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. I can't believe that we're on this point. It's good. Now we have the full offense together with Rashee Rice and everything. I mean, this is what we should be expecting from here on out, is putting up 30 burgers. So,
I mean, it's almost like the 12.5 seems like it's too good to be true. Like I feel like it should be like 15 or 16 or something.
Last week against the Raiders, the over/under going into that game before the game time was 12.5 as well. So it's 11.5 up to the point of game time.
Mm-hmm.
At game time, it was 12.5. So here we are, the exact same situation, 12.5 again.
I mean, the only thing that could stop it is, like I said, the refs. They can start throwing flags and try to rig the game. But
yeah, well, as Chiefs
outside
fans,
of that, man,
as Chiefs fans, we're used to things being rigged against us. So.
Outside of that, there's no way in the world this is a 12.5 point spread game.
All right, guys, ready for our final topic of the day? We're going to try to get better, guys. I'm going to try to get better myself. So, Tanner, I'm going to let you go ahead and do your own speaking.
Easy money bet of the week.
Easy money bet of the week. Did you guys want the recap of week 5?
Yeah.
Did you want to know about it? I said it last week on the show, but I didn't know if you guys want to know.
This is going to come into play when I make my pick.
Okay.
I'm back from this.
We'll do a little recap of week 5. For those that were on the show, you guys already know what happened in week 5. We talked about it last week, okay? But we'll talk about it again here since the guys missed out on the recap here. So for week 5, which was the last time all 3 of us were on the show, each of us had 2 bets. Okay. Myself, I had Spencer Rattler over 33.5 attempts at that time. He hit that all but one game, and he missed it at 31 attempts for that day. So we got the loss there, but we did hit our college football bet of Tulane at -7, so that was the dub. JG, you had 2 bets in week 5. You had Chiefs -3.5 and the Rams -7.5. Those are both losses.
A long time ago.
Mike,
Behind you.
not only did you have 2 bets, but you doubled down on JG's bet of the Rams at -8.5.
Double down.
Not you.
I
I doubled down on you.
So was the Rams against 2?
So you had the Rams.
Who did they play?
Jason.
It wasn't. Please tell me it wasn't 49ers.
No,
Because
that
I-
was.
Something to say about that. Was it the Niners?
You're gonna make me.
All we
remember.
need to know,
I have something to say about that.
all we need to know is I went with you on the bet, and we both lost.
You so Mike.
You on?
No.
First, and
You
then I
went
went
first.
I know I
I
did.
did, but I got
So you had Rams -7.5. Mike took Rams a -8.5 that
did they
game.
play the Niners? That's what I want to know.
That would be. I'm looking it up here right now.
It does matter because it's relevant to the pick that I'm about to make right
It
now.
was the Niners.
It was the Niners. So we're gonna do something fun.
Mac Jones blew it.
We're gonna do something fun this week.
So-
if I
Go first, and if Mike
picks the exact same bet as me, I'm gonna change my pick because he pulled that stun on me last time. I'm not gonna let it happen again.
So Mike doubled down with Jason on the Rams at -8.5. Of course, that didn't hit, and then he also had the Bills at -8.5, which also they lost. So we only had one win in week 5, which is myself. Currently walking. So we'll recap last week here. I did do 4 bets for the crew out here. Trying to make up for some easy money bets here. We did Cal -10 against North Carolina. North Carolina had to go all the way on a Friday night, play at 11:30 technically at night, or 10:30 at night East Coast, down all the way to California, and somehow they only lost by like 3 points, and there was a fumble at the 1. So Cal did not cover that -10. Tulane choked against Army, but they still won, but it wasn't -9.5. But we did get the dub with SMU +9. SMU upset Clemson there. Somehow, I don't know. I don't understand that line, how SMU was not favorites, but whatever. And then Gibbs over 24.5 receiving yards player prop. He hit that within the first, I believe the first drive of that game. So we went 2-2 last week here. So for year-to-date track, as we walk into week 8 of the NFL
I want to
season,
hear this number.
JG, you are 1-4 with a 20% win percentage. Mike, you are 1-7 with a 13% win percentage. I am 6-8, almost a nice score, with a 43% there. So as a buffoon total, we are 8-19.
Do everything
30%.
opposite what we say, and you'll make money.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot.
I've been pretty heavy on my my 50%. So
This has been a struggle of the year with these picks. No doubt about it.
all right,
I got to ask you a question before we begin this pick, because can I take a pick that is -140?
I don't care at this point.
Tanner says it doesn't care at this point.
No,
Normally
There's usually a boost though.
Well, listen, normally the rule is if all of our picks we make have to be like -120, -115 to 110. It's got to be close to even money. And so before I make this pick, because I need a little help to get back in my rhythm, can I make a pick that's -140?
I mean, there's usually a boost out there you can grab somewhere on the sports book. So let's do it, dude.
I got 2 picks then for the situation. I got some ground to make up, so I'm having 2 picks. Hopefully, get me back in the game. If I can dump both of them, I'll be back to 3, which is still really bad. But we're gonna get there slowly but surely. This might be my turning point. We'll see how this goes. All right, Jason, you're gonna probably hate this because I'm taking The Bills, that's right, on the road against Carolina, -7 right now on the spread, which means if they win by exactly a touchdown as a push, which means I won't lose. God damn it. So I'm taking that as a safe bet. And I love the Bills to cover that game anyway, honestly. I mean, there's no reason for them to even have to put up much of a fight against the Panthers, in my opinion. That should be a Bills victory without a doubt to me. Now, the next one, we'll save this for Monday, of course, but we got to talk about our boy Rashee Rice. Is right now over under on DraftKings. This is my second pick. This is me trying to get back. I think you put an asterisk next to this if you need to, Tanner. Rashee Rice current over under in the game is 5.5 receptions, and I love the over. It's -140. Okay.
Yeah, there'll be a boost for that.
So there might
It's
be
a Monday Night Football game.
That maybe you can parlay the Rashee Rice over with the Chiefs win, which will then help you to get to like -120, right? Something like that. Would that make sense?
Yep, that would make sense.
So I would do. In fact, make that my bet, Tanner. Make that my official bet for my second bet. Is Rashee Rice over 5.5 with the Chiefs win, and I will tell you the exact odds on that. Actually, as a matter of fact, right now. So I'm gonna put it in the system here. Exact odds is -115. That puts me back to where I want to be. I'm trying to play the game fair, you guys. And I'm doing a parlay to make my bet. Hey, I'm just trying to do the game the right way, okay? You guys are laughing your asses off.
I'm laughing because about what I'm ready to do.
It's a gimme pick.
This is going to be the first time I'm doing a first timer.
Anyways, those are my two picks.
I'm laughing at myself.
All right, I'm done. You guys go.
I'm laughing at myself.
You guys go.
Never happened before on this show ever.
What are you about to pick, dude?
Occasionally, I might do like 2 bets. Never done 3 bets.
There's no way you do 3.
Never happened.
No way.
Never
Hey,
happened.
let's do it.
But like Mike was saying, this is a get right moment. So I must give you 3 bets right now. We're going to start off with, only because Mike didn't bet against Mac Jones again. So the last time I got burned, I bet against Mac Jones. But I give more credit to Mike for making bad picks.
Don't do
Following me,
Don't
I
do
give
it.
to
Don't
Mac
do
Jones for playing a great game.
So we're going to bet against Mac Jones again. However, I have a good reason for this because, as you guys know, basically half of all of my picks on this show in the history of the sport are on the Houston Texans. Yeah. So now you have the Texans with a pretty good defense going up against Mac Jones. Texans are -1.5. Still don't believe they're a 2-4 football team. Give me the Texans -1.5 at home. They're going to take care of business there. Let's go pick number 2, man. And I'm going to go with a couple of horseshit teams that you would not expect for me to pick here. Looking at, let's just talk about the Jets and the Saints, right? They're both god-awful teams this year, and everybody knows it. But the Jets, for whatever reason, I feel like they're competitive in a lot of these games. They're not trying to tank, and they actually care a little bit. So I'm looking at that Jets-Bengals game. Even though the Jets are 0-7, I think the Jets are going to cover. So you're going to give me the Jets plus 6.5. Okay. Not saying they're finally going to win a game, but they are going to cover. That's number 2. Number 3, I'm going to give you a team that is the definition of tanking. That's the New Orleans Saints. They are not competitive in a lot of their games. They are 1-6. They're going up against the Buccaneers. Everybody's concerned. Oh, my goodness, like Baker's a little bit banged up. He's losing all of his wide receivers. Oh. So he should probably lose, right? Wrong. They are going to win, and they are going to cover. So give me the Bucks -4.
4. Okay.
That is the first time, and that might be the only time I ever do 3 picks on this show, except for next week when I might give you 4 picks. We might just go off the rails.
The thing is that
we go off the rails on this show, right?
We've put ourselves in a hole a little bit, so
you got to dig yourself out.
You kind of got to make some good picks along the way to get back out of this. You know, we just did 1 pick every week going forward, then I'd have a hard time getting back to 500.
Yeah.
But you know what? Out of all the years we've done this show, this is, by the way, year 6.
Oh, now we got to.
Hold on. Year 6 of Easy Money Picks. I have never been under 500 in my easy money picks.
Hmm.
And so the fact that I'm 1-7 right now in my easy money bet of the week is insane to me. I can't believe it myself. And so for me, it's like, dude, I gotta crawl out of this hole somehow by doing a parlay bet and doing this and that. Just get me back to where I need to be. And then after that, we can get back to her.
And the good news is if you do another 0% week, you can just go ahead and quit. You don't have to do it anymore.
Well,
you can call it. You can be like Russell Wilson and just call it quits.
ooh. or just I could just get really butthurt and then tell you guys I'm tired of making fun. Quit making fun of me.
Yeah, you can lack the humility and just blame it all on us.
Yeah. I'll call you guys classless. And leave the show.
Yeah, you can put the blame on us, man, for your own mistakes.
All right, Tanner, let's get him.
Holy cow. All right. We're going to do 2 bets for you guys this week here since I did 4 last week.
All right, multiple bets.
We are going to hit up this Saturday, guys. SMU goes to Wake Forest. It opened up at -6.5 favorites for SMU. Wake Forest, they're supposed to be pretty bad. They actually play fairly well. The line has gone down to 3. Love the 3 mark here. DK right now -112. I'm going to take SMU -3. I like SMU -3 in this case here. Overall, they're the better team, and I like this team, what they do, and then what they bring. So we'll go SMU -3 at Wake Forest this week.
Double down on that one, man. That's a juicy bet right there.
Oh, actually, I agree with that.
Maybe we should all just double down.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
I do not want you guys touching my bet.
Yeah, because
Oh.
He'll lose. Yeah, I know. You don't want to do that.
At all. I don't want none of that here. Oh, Lord of mercy.
I was seriously going to switch, by the way. If you pick against Mac Jones again, I would that bet.
No,
altogether.
Mac has actually looked really good this year. So
Yeah,
I'm
he's
gonna give you
fine.
some credit for that.
I'm looking at some of these lines, these player props here, and I really want to go certain routes here.
That's a good one right there.
Yeah, the under. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm actually gonna hand around. We're gonna go against one of the worst rushing teams, period, in the NFL. Indianapolis is going to we're facing Tennessee. We're gonna take Daniel Jones at 11.5 over his rushing yards for this upcoming week as our NFL player prop. So that's what I got.
All right, man. I think we got some winners this week.
Got some
We need a few winners. Now the SMU pick I like quite a bit, Tanner. So we might need to go in with
might
you
have
on
to
that one.
double down.
Do not touch my bet. For God's sake.
Well, Saturday rolls around and I'm bored. I might do that.
You could double down on my Jets pick if you want. I don't care because they're probably going to win that game.
Honestly, I like both my picks. I like the Bills to cover 7. If they don't and they win by 7, then I got Bunny back, whatever.
Mhm.
But I like the Chiefs to win and Rasheed 6 catches. I like that too. So we all know who the Chiefs work with Rasheed Rice. So I'll take that as my parlay bet of the week for even money, basically close to it. So, anyways, guys, before we get out of here, any final thoughts, guys? Like I said again, thank you guys so much for checking us out today. The podcast is gonna evolve as time goes on here. This is our first time. This is our first setup here at this location. So as we go, and Tanner might not always be here, but we will have some different activity behind us, I'm sure, as time goes on. So that is in the plans.
I'll be remote.
Well, you're going to be with us. Yeah, remote. And
It's not like I won't be on the show.
be in Oklahoma, helping us out a little bit. And then
I just had to come here and make sure you guys could get the freaking, on the air for once, after last week. So
yeah,
that's the big thing.
He says he's
going to show up once a month, and we'll never see him again for 6 months.
Well, we'll see. We'll see, guys.
well, here's the thing.
We're gonna have different setups for
JG and I, or days where it's JG, Tanner, and all of us together. So we'll have to figure out the setups, the best situation for all 3 of us versus 2 of us. So
And maybe I'll figure out how to bring my mic, I guess, for it to you guys.
figure out, man. If you guys want to check back to how it used to be back in the day, go back to all of our videos from go back to 2020. That's right, and you can see how
The old setup.
we're not called the sports buffoon for no reason. God damn it! And that was a buffoonery.
You remember when we tried with the computer you got here? You remember we tried the green screen, and in the middle of the show was playing another whole show on the green screen? Because I thought it was because we had such long of these intros.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like it would spend like 20 minutes, and I thought it was the background for some reason.
Back then,
And then all of a sudden, in the middle of the show, I look up and I'm looking at the screen, and there's a video playing. I'm like, oh, that was one of those like 20-minute long intros that we just stood there with the screen.
every single show had a butt fuck. And yes, that is true. That is the word I need to use.
That's hilarious.
It was a butt fuck every single show back in the day.
But
that's what made us what we are.
the best one by far was when we figured out a way to create these turd sounds. Like in the background while
everybody was talking. You just,
The one you freaking
turd
farted.
sound was created by AI.
The one we heard you fart.
Well, that was
No,
That was
AI.
amazing. I love that.
AI, dude. That was an AI.
Yeah, that was AI. That was hilarious.
More AI
Well,
farts on the show.
back then though, Tanner, I also used to didn't always go live. I would take the video and edit the video and then insert sounds during the
Yeah, but this one was with the old mics and we were live.
No.
And
Well, I know.
Jason got caught.
Not
Yeah,
fun.
he did.
Not real.
I used to actually edit the video or try to edit the video
Yeah.
as much as I could afterwards. But
There's a lot, man. There's a lot to
yeah,
do.
there was a lot going on back in that day. That was quite an interesting thing.
That's the world of figuring life out.
We were smooth for a long time. I mean, honestly, your place, your mom's house, mom's basement.
Outside of the PC power issues that we had, like the box ended up going bad and almost catching fire on me. I don't know if I told you guys
You
that.
won't burn down your mom's house?
Yeah,
Wow.
it was wild. It was a
Okay.
wild time.
Let's not burn down this place.
when we had the smooth sailing for a while, that's back when Tanner stopped drinking.
A while, so maybe we should go back to that.
Well, I don't think Tanner's drinking the day.
You need to quit. You need to quit.
Well,
drinking.
I'm gonna
Better.
fart here, dude.
You're
Problem
better.
is,
Stop drinking.
It's from
Put some
Lynette,
AI noise in here in a minute.
Oklahoma, in the same night, and go all the way back to work. So I don't know how he does it. It's pretty wild. So,
That's what I do.
any guys, any last thoughts? We gotta get out of here.
Yeah. K-State stinks. I hope they lose by 30. It's gonna be a great game. Great game. I'm excited for it. We're gonna break the streak. Break the streak this week.
Okay. Well, I heard you
think-
loud and clear.
I
I'll
think
be
is it 14 games K-State's won in a row, 17 games? It's something crazy. Yeah.
I would have thought he
We-
would have snuck one in there or something.
We haven't won since we were good.
All right, well, you got him at your
At the new stadium.
game.
Minus 3 favorites. It is the booth.
Just the booth.
The booth.
Just there's no other name to it. Like
Like
Allen Fieldhouse, obviously has a name. It's just the booth.
I don't know. It's like the booth. That's what they call it.
A statue.
Yeah, that was David Booth.
Oh well, okay, but it's just called the booth.
Yeah, like what do you want it to be called?
One last
David
question.
Booth Kansas Memorial Stadium is what it's called.
One last question before we go. I just bought a new vehicle the other day. What would you guys do if you had a problem with a bunch of rats and mice that start chewing wires underneath the hood of your car?
Ooh.
What would you do in that situation? Would you just try to do like rat poison, or would you maybe put some dynamite over there to create an explosion, or what? How would you get rid of that, dude? It seems like a big freaking problem.
Right in your car.
I don't even put that.
Is that what you're saying?
Not to blow up the rats, man.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to see what your solution would be here, because I just bought a brand new
Well,
vehicle,
I think
and
it would
if that happens to me, I want to know what to do.
Well, I think it'd be hilarious to put sticky traps in your engine, but you got to make sure you take them out before you go drive.
Take them
But
out.
put sticky traps and rat poison in each sticky trap. And then they're attracted to the sticky traps to begin.
And then they take a whole block of poison and die.
And you got to
That's
make sure you
stairs.
goes out each day.
I think what I'm going to go with, I'm going to try to find a bunch of stray cats.
That all have rabies to kill all the mice, and that would be the best thing I could
Yeah,
do.
stray cats is a good way to go.
But then you're gonna have a stray cat problem.
Not
Until
if they
the-
have rabies, man.
No, here's the thing, Tanner.
If they have
stray
rabies, they're
cats
good. They all
minute.
eat each other. after
So
they
you
eat
have for a
rats.
minute until the mice are all gone. Then stray cats move along to somewhere else.
Yeah, or they eat each other.
Or they affect all the dogs in the neighborhood.
No, they just make a bunch of other kittens. That's all they do.
The moral is don't ever move to Oklahoma or out in the middle of nowhere where the rats take over.
It's all good. We got owls now. I guess I saw an owl the other day.
That owl. Okay. Tell the owl, hey, it's in the end.
Everything's okay.
Have that issue anymore, guys.
Everything's okay. Well, everything is okay until it's not.
All right. All right. Well,
You guys
everything else that for the day, I suppose, and we'll plan on being back, or at least JG and I here next Wednesday.
We'll be back on, guys.
He's gonna do his thing from his spot, but otherwise, I think we're good to go.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all there for checking us out and hanging out and listening to us. And I will see you all on the next one. Outro.
See you guys.